How is everyone doing today?
Doing great.
Doing good.
Amazing.
All right. Welcome to my living room. Every 2 weeks, people seem to find their way into my living room. I don't understand this at all. I've been checking the locks. You guys get in here. I don't know. I'm glad you could make it. If you're not already, please follow us at Button Down Comedy. We have our virtual shows the second and fourth Fridays of every month. I'm doing this since the beginning of the pandemic, so we're just talking about this. It is approaching a third year, in the end of a third year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and as long as we have comedians who want to perform, and as long as you guys come to watch, we'll keep doing them. This is a free show, but we do have set up two ways for you to donate if you want to show the comics of appreciation. We have the paypal.me/BD comedy or Cash App $ Button Down Comedy. So please, if you like what you see, definitely let them know. Also, the comics will put their social media information in the chat. If you want to follow them, definitely do so. We appreciate it that you are here. We would appreciate it more if you would have your mics open. As long as you have a lot of background noise, we want to hear the laughter because we are comedians. It's either laughter or cocaine. You know, we can't afford cocaine. So give us that laughter, please.
Bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, I've noticed there's a lot of fuss, the Jewish population, because the Christians stole their book. I mean, the Old Testament is basically the Torah. I mean, but there's not really a lot of complaining about the fact that we stole your guy too, you know? You didn't see a picture, we did. It's like, hey, Jesus, do you want to be a carpenter all your life? Or do you want to be a superstar? They'll be throwing their loincloths at you. They'll be putting you on a pedestal. Now, the contract does state they can substitute a stage, a podium, or a cross. We have worked to deal with CrossFit as our sponsor, so please hammered. And we do also reserve all rights to any of your works, both verbal and written, with the option to paraphrase, rewrite, or just totally ignore as needed. I've been reading that Texas has come up with a plan to end racism. They made the word illegal. Teachers can get fired, put in jail for using the word racism. I don't think that's quite going to work the way they expect. Just maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I was driving it the other day and I saw in the middle of the road a bumper. Just a bumper, no car, no pieces of the car other than the bumper. How drunk do you have to be to lose your bumper and not realize it? But then the next day, I'm a different section of the highway and I see a tire. And it occurs to me, days earlier, I saw a muffler. Another time I saw a windshield. I'm thinking, maybe what we have here is a time travel car accident. It's like, Marty, there's a deer, quick, turn to 2023. And we have just pieces over the timeline. I'm still looking for the flux capacitor. It's got to be somewhere. There's this gun store had a sign at inside Knife World. Thinking, why with the conundrum of bringing a knife to a gunfight? It's just that then it hit me. It's all about marketing. The guy with the knife gets shot by the guy with the gun. The guy with the gun picks up the knife, takes it back to the knife store, and trades it in for some bullets. It's a win-win. Unless the guy with the knife. was passing by a church, saw a sign that said, 2023, be with Jesus. Are they wishing death on me? That seems awfully passive aggressive. You know? I've been thinking about virtual reality, and what I want to know is if I get into this whole virtual reality thing, when I enter, will I finally get all those cookies I've been accepting? It seems such a waste to accept them and never get any. Remember all that's worthless stuff they taught us in school? How many people remember sentence diagramming?
Right.
You have to identify adverbs, identify adjectives. Who needs that? Identify pronouns. Oh, that actually. I did not realize my teachers were so woke way back then. I've been exercising very religiously, but I have not lost any weight no matter how hard I pray. I've been thinking about getting a tattoo, but I'm a little hairy, you know. So if I got like a sexy girl, it'd be like Sasquatch, you know. I get a nice picture of my mom's face. She'd be the bearded lady. I don't think it's not gonna work. Now, add to the fact that I really don't like needles, so it really would not work. Would not. Tennessee recently passed a bill about no drag, dress and drag, which really makes me wonder how they're going to do a Shakespearean play. Because Texas didn't mean to accidentally empower women, but they've just given them a whole slew. I can see the politicians now in Texas saying, wait, we did what? Can't have that. You know, all these words have been deemed inappropriate and been banned, right? But what do they call that white tank top undershirt? Anybody?
Yeah, wife beater.
How did that make the list? How did that pass? You know, it's like, I mean, really? That made it? I used to be from Ohio, and so I know a lot of people from Michigan, near Ohio. And if you ever meet somebody from Michigan, they will identify themselves this way, or I'm sorry, identify where they live this way. Michigan looks like they. I'm just glad they work for Florida. Here, let me unzip this and show you where I live. All right, where I want to end that. Okay, I got this. I'm driving the other day, and the car in front of me, the light over the license plate is flickering, right? So I'm thinking, faulty bulb. Or is there somebody in the trunk trying to send me a Morse code message? I wish I knew Morse code. Not as much as I knew Morse code. Well, that is my attempt at humor. Let's bring our first comedian for the evening. She is coming to us you're from India, correct?
Yeah.
It is like 5:30 in the morning there, and this shows you how committed she is. But please, give a big round of applause to Ankur. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, it is. But hi everyone, I am Ankur. This is how my name is pronounced. And the thing is, the Vietnamese people, they call me Ankru. The white people call me Angkor. And for some reason, the French people call me Ankur. So it's fine. All of those are my name. And it's 5:30 a.m. in India right now, because who needs sleep when you are depressed and suicidal, right? Comedians are made, okay? First you get depressed, then you get suicidal, then you become a comedian, and if nobody laughs, you die. types of comedians, type 1 are comedians who are really good at writing. Type 2 are the comedians who are really good at performing. And I suck at both. And a lot of people, a lot of foreign people, foreigners, they ask me, this one specific question. They're like, Ankur, your English is really good for an Indian person. How? And you know what? I am not even offended at this point. The Queen of England was. I mean, it took us 200 years of oppression to learn English. And let me tell you something about myself. My pronouns are she, it, shit. Yeah, and I'm pansexual. People who don't know what pansexual is, no, I'm not turned on by pandemic. And no, I'm not dating pants anymore. Pansexual means I am so desperate, I am okay with anyone. And I don't know what's wrong. Like every time I tell people I am pansexual, the person in front of me hears threesome for some reason. And my parents are human rights activists, by the way, so they want to support me all the time, which is pretty annoying, because I have never been closeted. I told my parents, hey, I think I need to find myself. And they were like, we think so too, And me and my parents, we had a pride photo shoot this year. It's a family pride photo shoot. It was their idea, because they didn't want to come out as homophobics yet. Yeah, they're pretty closeted. And I'm wearing glasses, as you can see. I am so queer, I can't even see straight. But the thing is, I broke up with my boyfriend recently because he was cheating on me. But then again, I am pansexual, so I went out on a date with the girl he cheated on me with. Indian parents, they love, all Asian parents, I think, they love to compare their kid to other kids. They're like, look at that kid. That kid have better grades than you. That kid have better job than you. And my parents are like, look at your cousin. She's 16-year-old. She's already married. She has 3 kids and her husband is dead. She is already done with her lifetime quota and your 25-year-old ass is still single. But we have a thing in India called arranged marriage. People who don't know what arranged marriage is, let me explain it to you. It's like Tinder. Wait, no, it's not like Tinder, because on Tinder you get to meet the person, you get to know the person before you get married to them. Yeah, I think it's not like Tinder. And I started like I downloaded the dating app called Bumble in India because my friends forced me to do that. And I'm swiping on everyone because I'm pansexual. So this guy, he messaged me and he was like, Ankur, I am gay. And I was like, why? Why would you swipe on me if you're gay? And he was like, no. I thought I was gay. Then I started talking to you. And now I like you. And now I think I'm bisexual. And I was like, are you calling me beautiful or masculine? Like, and this other guy, he started messaging me on Instagram and he was like, Ankur, you're so sweet. You're so cute. And I like you. And you belong to me. I belong to you. We belong together. I was like, bro, Just send me a dick pic and end this. So, I have colored my hair. I don't know if you can see, but I have colored my hair because otherwise they won't let you in the community. And they think George is crazy because I send her nudes. She compliments my hair, and a couple of days ago, I told her that I skipped my periods. Okay, so I told her. I don't know why she was mad at me. I mean, she always wanted kids,
Hmm.
and I'm into BDSM, you guys. Yes, I am into BDSM. Being depressed on social media. I also have OnlyFans. That's how comedians make money, by the way. I have OnlyFans. I get paid to not post anything. And the thing is, I was talking about how I was meeting men on dating apps. So I was just casually talking to this guy, and I was like, hey, I'm trying out comedy, and I don't know, let's see how it goes. And he was like, shut up. Beautiful women aren't funny. And I was like, what? And then he goes, you must be hilarious.
Oh, ouch.
And the thing is, I was like, okay, let's change the topic. And I told him, hey, I am short. I am 4 feet 11. So I am pretty short. So most of the time, people assume I'm a school kid. And he was like, it's okay. Some people like school kids.
Oh.
And I am part of LGBTQIA plus. There's no P in it, and I'm pansexual. So you know how we write etc. at the end of the sentence. You have to imagine everything else. So I am that. I come under plus. I am minority in the minority. That's me, you guys. I am Ankur, and let's get our super amazing host back.
Keep it going, Francois. Yeah, I still don't understand when they added the QAnon to the LGBT community. I just don't understand it. Why would you add the Q? So our next comedian is a gentleman that I met down in Greenville, South Carolina. He is one of the funniest guys I've met in a long time. So please, big round of applause for Chris Wilson.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Well, thanks, Geo. No pressure there. I gotta be funny. Okay. But anyway, give it up for Geo one time. Yep.
Woohoo!
There we go. There we go. Yeah, she brought up a really, really good point. And forgive me because my screen's up here, my webcam's right here. So if I stare up like this, it's not weird. But anyway, she brought up a really good point to me. Sending nudes, that is difficult. Anchor, do you have any issues ever sending the nudes?
A lot of time.
Me too, because I have hand tremors, right? So I try to send a nude and it's like part of my thigh and part of my kneecap and whatever's on my coffee table, and it's kind of weird. I did send a girl a nude one time and, it took up 2 text messages and I was really proud of that. So that's good. That's good. Send more nudes. It keeps the world going around. The world's rough. Do any of you guys have cats?
Yes.
Yes, I love cats. I read something the other day about cats and it makes perfect sense. It was a meme that said cats are the only animal in the world unless you adopt one, they'll just come in your house and be like, okay, I live here now. Buy food. And that's 100% true.
Yes.
Yeah, my cat rules the whole house. And I have such an odd cat. My cat does not hiss at people. My cat snorts at people. That's what she does when she gets mad. And she does these weird things like she's the only cat I know that is I guess a vegan cat. She will turn down steak, but she will try to eat corn shucks, greens, anything. And if you tell her no, get off the table, just so I get that a lot. But the one thing that gets me, and I don't get this about cats, okay, simply for the fact that when a cat comes up to you and rubs up on your leg and gets in your lap, it's cute. But when I do that, girls think I'm a pervert. I don't understand how that works. I really don't understand how that works. It's not fair. I also don't like it if you rub my belly, but you know. I've done some shows with Geo. I love Geo. Geo is one of my favorite people. And we did a show up in Asheville, and I will not say the name of the place, but this still makes me laugh. He was like, Chris, go outside and, you know, see if you can pull some people in to come to the show. And I said, cool. And the thing is, there's this massive hill down at the venue because it's downstairs. You got to go down this massive alleyway, and they had not fixed the street light. So it was pitch black. So here I am standing out on the corner in Asheville asking ladies to walk with me down a dark alleyway and have a fun time. Thank you for getting me in trouble, Geo. Yeah, now I'm out, not allowed in Asheville anymore. Thanks. But it was interesting because unfortunately, I don't know how things work for you guys. But doing comedy can be ruined if it rains or if it's any day of the week. Because that's the thing, I can't get my own dad to come to my comedy shows, and I could have one in his driveway and he wouldn't show up. And but here's the interesting thing: we had a show, and unfortunately, the turnout wasn't great. There were about 4 not comics in the room, and I noticed something very interesting before the show because I don't know. I have to pee 8,000 times before a show. Never before nor after, but my bladder's like, you got to be funny. Let's go pee pee. And I go to turn around and go to the bathroom because we're in the bar. And I noticed there's just 2 stalls at the end of the bar. Like, you know how when you go in a bathroom, there's a door that says bathroom and you go in it and there's 4 walls? No, not this place. There were just 2 stalls at the end of the bar. You could literally look over the stall. I'm 5'1", so I can't, but you could be like, yo, I need a drink. And they'll give you a drink right there on the spot. It's really nice. But the thing is, when there's 4 people at the show, you know, it's kind of quiet. And I'm not going to lie. Somebody got up to go to the bathroom and they took a poop. They took a poop because you can hear it in silence. And here I am telling my best jokes, which are shit anyways. So, but anyway, right in the middle of one of my jokes, you hear, huh? And then you hear, bloop. And I'm just like, oh man. And then they had to come back out and it's like, we know who did it. Cause you know, shame on you, Jimmy. And that was really interesting. And that is one of my favorite jokes to tell. But I don't know if you can see this. Is it backwards? Yeah. I am the not famous comedian with cerebral palsy. There's a few of us, and I am the one that, you know, doesn't make money. So that's me. But anyway, I did a show recently with a buddy of mine, and he is a friend through comedy. So he doesn't know my whole life story yet. He just knew I was disabled, you know, and they're about to call me up on the stage. And he just picked a disability. Out of all the ones, out of all these disabilities, he picked one. He just goes, hey, everybody, give it up for Chris. He's a paraplegic. Here I come walking to the best of my abilities. This old lady was like, it's a miracle. And I'm like, yeah, up top, slap high, you know? It was really awkward for me. But if you don't know, I have cerebral palsy. I usually go, does everybody know what that is? And then somebody usually goes, yeah, woo. And I'm like, shut up, Dad. You make this awkward for me. But basically, if you don't know what it's like playing every video game you've ever played on the hardest difficulty and your controller's dying. It's rough, okay? And the thing is, I didn't let cerebral palsy beat me. I was supposed to be in a wheelchair when I was 5 years old. And on the 10th of this month, I just turned 39. So I'm doing pretty good, you know? And the thing about it is, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the thing about it is, like, you can't let things beat you in life. You got to keep going. We're comedians. This is actually depressing. We have to keep going. We need validation in our lives, you know? But I didn't let cerebral palsy beat me. And I didn't let that coat hanger beat me neither.
Oh,
I just get PTSD on laundry day. And yes, this shirt is dirty. But talk about getting off the hook. You know what I mean? The thing is, having cerebral palsy is a big pain in the ass. It's hard to do simple things, you know. Like, have you ever tripped and fell when you were already sitting down? That is so weird, man. That is so weird. When I did a show with Geo recently, I tried to sit on the stool. He told me I could do half an hour. It took me 45 minutes just to get on the stool. I had to refund a lot of money that day. But you know, like, here's a list of things that I can't get over. Baby gates, not good. I got stuck with a kid. I had to watch the little baby, little child, while my girlfriend at the time went to the store, except she procrastinates and was gone for like 3 hours. So I'm still stuck with this baby over here on this baby gate because neither one of us can get over it, you know. And she comes home and she's like, why are you still there? And I'm like, bitch, because we're stuck. And we both need to be changed. It was embarrassing. I don't like curbs. I don't do high steps, regular steps, stools anymore, big chairs. I don't like this getting over the side of the bathtub. Did I mention fuck steps? And I can't get over past relationships.
Progress.
What was that?
What
noise?
was that noise?
Am I having a
Am I
sip?
having
Okay. I don't taste anything weird. I guess it's okay. But anyway, you know, but the cerebral palsy thing is interesting, but it makes my life a little bit more difficult. You know, I'm still struggling with the push pull on the door, and that has nothing to do with my abilities. And I hate it when you open the door for somebody and either they get offended. I had somebody get offended. I can open it myself. And I'm like, well, hell, I tried for 5 minutes. You know, don't get mad at me. And I hate it when they don't say thank you or give you a head nod, because I'm not trying to assume you can't open a door. I'm just trying to be nice. And I think you should be allowed to trip one person a week and slam the door on their head until you see wet stuff or until you feel better about the situation. That's just me. But the thing is, like, the one thing that gets me is like elevators. Okay. Those terrify me. I'm afraid of heights, even if it's 2 or 3 stories. And I try to be polite because it is terrifying to try to get in an elevator because I think it's going to slice me in half. And so I try to get in the elevator and I hold the door for everybody. You know, I've gotten tipped. I'm like, I don't work here. I am a resident at this hotel room. And I try to be polite to a lady. I'll hold the door. And, you know, what floor are you getting off on? I'll push the button, you know, just to be a gentleman. But I do it with my palsy hand, with the hand trimmers, like we talked about already. And I'm so like, oh, what floor would you like to get off on? I've already hit 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, 11, 12, 1. I had a spasm and I pushed the red button. So the fire department will be here soon. And she had the nerve to get all pissed off at me.
I want you so bad. You're the only person I want to hang out with.
Oh, cool. I'm glad people want to hang out with me too. Not even my own parents tell me that. So, you know, that I don't do good with the elevators. I don't do good with sleeping. Having hands, your hand just kind of does what it wants. I woke up to a domestic violence charge from my girlfriend. I was like, what did I do? That happened one time, you know. It's just crazy. I'm not allowed to put my hands in my pockets in public. Because I will enter a one-man pocket pool tournament by mistake. That'll get you kicked out of the Applebee's or whatever the equivalent is you have over there in India. It's probably better than Applebee's, believe me. Yeah, it's weird. My ex-girlfriend actually confessed she cheated on me. And I hate to be crude, but she said, I've been given blowjobs to pay the rent.
Ooh.
I know. It made playing Monopoly at board game night really, really screwed up. When you got to blow somebody for Baltic Avenue, I think it's like $6. And what's the big controversy now? Here, Bud Light I think it's Bud Light.
Yeah, Bud Light.
Has a rainbow can for equality and all that stuff. And people are getting so pissed off. Like, they're like, I'm not drinking Bud Light anymore. Okay, well, first off, and no offense if you like Bud Light, but I think Bud Light tastes like butt. Okay? Like, I would be more pissed off. I don't care if it's got a rainbow on it. I would be more pissed off if you gave me a Bud Light. You know, what we use Bud Light for at my house is to marinate ribs. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Why are these people getting so mad about a beer when they're just going to smash it on their head and make bad decisions? I don't understand that at all. Like, why do people hate rainbows so much? They're literally the best thing after a storm. So you got one guy going, oh, I ain't drinking no rainbow beer. I assume he also, by proxy, doesn't eat Lucky Charms. How come nobody's ever said shit about Lifesavers candy? Nobody said a word about that. And he's just like, well, LeVar Burton didn't teach me shit in school. That was a Reading Rainbow joke. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but that's a Reading Rainbow joke. But anyway, let's see. Anybody ever had a bad job?
Yes.
Anybody got one right now? Besides me? This is my job. I used to work at a Walmart. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to Walmart, but I'm going to assume you have. I don't like to go there. I never end up there by choice. Like, for example, the other day, I'm bad about taking my glasses off and leaving them somewhere. And I was having a alone time, you know. I'm not going to lie. I was masturbating. I was having a alone time. I used my palsy hand because it reminds me of what I'm used to. A girl that's not interested. Very weak grip. It's like a bad claw machine. But anyway, I put my glasses down and I was doing my thing, you know. I went full on contact for at least 2.5 minutes. Then I put my glasses on and I realized I was at the Walmart. That was awkward. And the thing is, you know how like veterans, people steal valor, like they'll put on awards, things were not in the military, but they will act like it to get like discounts and stuff. And I think that's so bad. But have you ever had somebody accuse you of being a veteran? I've had that happen to me. This guy came up to me and he shook my hand because I was working at Walmart. He shook my hand. He goes, hey, man, thank you for your service. And I said, dude, you're welcome. I had on a vest. I thought he meant customer service, but he did. Yeah. And he goes, hey, how you been? And I'm like, I'm working at Walmart. I'm struggling, you know. And the thing is, he goes, yeah, man, I ain't seen you in years. And I'm like, dude, I haven't seen you ever. And he goes, no. He goes, we were friends from the war. I said, I've never been to war. He goes, I remember you from Guam. I said, I don't even know where the hell Guam is. I looked it up. We haven't been there since 1964. My dad was like 3. And he's like, yeah, I saw your limp, man. That's how I recognize you, man. You took grenade shrapnel in the knee. And I'm like, I don't think I did. I got hit by an ice cream truck, if you want to know the truth. But the thing is, he's just like, and he got all pissed and he stormed off. And I'm like, well, Godspeed. I barely knew you. Never knew you at all. Okay, I'll wrap it up just a minute. Let's pick something here. Oh, okay. I'll end it with this. I saw the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. You guys familiar with the Ripley's aquariums?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I went to Ripley's Aquarium on a vacation. And it's amazing. There's thousands and thousands of gallons of water, glass over you, and you're in this tunnel. You can see everything. You're on a conveyor belt. I struggled with that joke for like 3 minutes because I kept wanting to say elevator. Conveyor belt. I was on a conveyor belt, and you see all these exotic fish, right? And I saw the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Hammerhead shark swam right over my head. Took a shit. I've never seen that in my life. It's and the crazy thing is, you know what shark poo looks like? I will tell you, it looks just like yours. It's exactly the same. This little bitty slot opens up and it goes whoop, and out comes a poo. So here I am back in the day, trying to set my 8 megapixel Canon camera to take a picture of this poop. I don't know why. And then I'm like, God, I feel weird. And I look around and there's these Asian people. And I don't mean to be stereotypical, but when that shark poo come out, you heard, oh, and it took 1,000 pictures. Like even my dad was there. My dad took a selfie with the turd. So there were 2 pieces of shit in the picture. That's actually, my dad wasn't there. That's not true. He'll get all mad. He ain't got a sense of humor, not like his not famous comedian son. But anyway, that's my poopy story. Thanks a lot, guys. And follow me at, where am I? ChrisWilsonComedy.com or OnlyFans when I can get my hand trimmers to stop acting up so they'll take my ID pictures. Thanks, guys. Give it up for Geo.
Keep going, Chris.
Thank you.
Hey, Chris, I read the other day that a guy shot up like 3 cases of Bud Light in protest of this. I think he should, if he keeps protesting like that, Bud Light's going to go through the roof in sales.
Well, it defeats the purpose. He didn't steal all the Bud Light. He paid for it. I'll be honest, Bud Light doesn't give a damn.
Yeah. It's like nobody got pissed at Skittles to taste the rainbow.
Yeah. I eat Skittles right now and I'm a diabetic. I shouldn't be doing that. Real quick, let me tell you.
They're telling you not to support the rainbow. Go taste it. That's just.
Well, here's the thing. Did you? And I won't hold you up anymore. But did you see the Hershey thing when they got mad about the trans person being on the wrapper? I'm not eating those no more. And I'm like, I don't even know what the Hershey logo looks like. I eat it before I get the paper off. But anyway, thanks, guys.
Hey.
All right. Our final comedian for the evening, our headliner. I've met him during the pandemic in a group called Displaced Comedians. He has been on our virtual show several times. As he likes to say, he's a smart man trapped in a fat man's body. Please give it up, Chip Jones.
Hey, hello. So when Geo says a headliner, he should say it in quotes, right? Headliner of the show. And that echo is actually coming from my wife. Hey, Sue, mute yourself.
Hey, Chip.
You have to mute yourself. We're getting an echo from you.
I got it.
Okay, there we go. Oh, so where are we? Chris, got to talk about Chris a little bit.
Please.
Good set. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you.
I was going to tell you something, though. When you talked about cats, I have a cat, but this idea of cats are the only animals that will come into your house and then say, I live here now, feed me. Ankur can tell you about the English. They do that, right? They've done that throughout history, especially in India and Africa. They just showed up and said, we live here now, feed us. So, we've got other animals besides cats. Geo, the guy who shot up the cases of beer was Kid Rock. It's actually trying to make himself, known again. He shot up 3 cases of Bud Light because they have a trans spokesperson now. So that's what's got this whole thing going, is this anti-trans thing, which is crazy. When we got so much other stuff to deal with, yeah, of course, the other thing that's in the news is this Jack Tashana, the kid, 21-year-old kid who was putting top secret documents up on social media. Have you seen this story? They arrested him. Yeah, they arrested him. And it was weird because they said what he did is he actually printed out the documents, he folded them into 4s, and he hid them in the pockets of his cargo pants. And I'm like, cargo pants? I mean, that should be a red flag immediately. If a kid's walking out of a top secret area with cargo pants, frisk him. I mean, Jesus Christ. If nothing else, for the fashion faux pas, you got to stop that kid. I mean, it's just crazy. I am old. You can tell from my gray hair.
Fantastic hair.
Thank you. I'm at that age now that if I'm up after midnight, 50% of the time it's because I have to go to the bathroom. And the other 50 it's because I got to go again. I mean, it's just horrible now that I've gotten to this age. It's like and I'm very jealous, of young guys, because I know these young guys, when they go, they got that powerful steady stream when they go, they're like little firemen with their fire hoses just blasting away. When I go, it's more like a ketchup pump at McDonald's, sort of squirt, 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 squirt. I mean, it's terrible. I'll be honest with you. It takes me so long to pee now. I usually sit when I pee, which can be awkward at a urinal. I'll be honest with you, it can be. But you do get good eye contact with the guy who's standing up next to you, so that's always nice. My doctor now books me for 2 appointments if I have to pee in a cup, which I think is rude. I think that's rude. He and I are still battling because the last time I was in, he wanted me to pee in a cup, and then the rest of the appointment he was bitching about how I ruined his coffee. I'm like, be more specific, and besides, it takes me so long to pee, you could have stopped me at any point if you were paying attention, But one thing you probably can't tell, Chris, is that I do have long dreadlocks hidden behind my hair there.
Wow, those are
Yes.
immaculate.
Woohoo.
And it's funny because a lot of times when people see these, they automatically assume that I smoke and sell weed. And I just want to let you guys know I don't smoke weed. So if there are any customers, I do mail order, even to India. I could probably hook you up if you need it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the weed usage like in India. People smoke a lot of weed.
It's illegal, but yeah,
It's
people
illegal?
do smoke.
Is-
Yeah.
Okay. So we won't make you admit it on a public Zoom, because they'll bang down your door and carry you away. It's probably penalty is probably pretty strict, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. In India, they might even get death, but at least for your last meal you get a steak, right? No, probably not. Probably not. That would be totally wrong. But what else is going on in my life? I'm dealing with this stuff, with generations. I actually have a show coming up in a few days. That's a roast battle between comedians of different generations. And like I say, I'm old. I'm of the baby boomer generation, which is a weird generation because baby boomer, basically my generation's call is that our parents had a lot of sex. It's nothing about what we did. It's just that our parents, had sex like rabbits. It's not. What does that say about me? And then the people that started this was the quote unquote the greatest generation. That's what they call our parents and grandparents. They were the greatest generation because they fought a world war. It's like I want the greatest generation that had a world peace, you know?
Mhm.
And that generation's also the generation that put asbestos into everything. You know, they're the ones that gave us mesothelioma. I don't know if you guys have this in India. I mean, the worst part about this is that we also got from that all these commercials from mesothelioma lawyers. It's like
Mhm.
everywhere you look, they want you to sign up for a mesothelioma lawyer. I mean, it's disgusting. But I do have a son who's 28, so he's in that Gen X or millennial, you know. So he doesn't know the pain, you know, I had as a kid, you know, with those PSAs that said it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your child is? It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your child is? The parents are running to see where their children are. See, we don't have that now because 10 o'clock, we all know where our kid is. He's upstairs playing video games and he's 29 years old. So it doesn't matter if he's out on the streets, you know?
Mhm.
And also, you know, kids today, they don't understand commitment. You know, growing up, we had to commit to our TV shows, you know? You know, like Batman only came on at 6 p.m. on a Thursday night once a week. You had to be there at 6 p.m. You had to put everything aside to be there. Kids now, they can watch whatever they want anytime they want, you know? I mean, I could turn to my son and say, hey, there's a special thing on CNN where they're showing the meteorite that's about to crash into the earth and kill us all. And he'd be like, oh, busy, I'll watch it on video on demand. I'm like, what? What? You know, they just don't understand the pain that we go through. And speaking of TV, I am old enough to remember when TV was in black and white. And by that, I mean, it was mostly white with just a little bit of black, you know.
Oh!
Eventually, we did get Technicolor, you know, which I think stood for technically you could have one person of color on your show, you know, and that's when I became a fan of Star Trek, you know, with a beautiful Nichelle Nichols, a Black Uhura, you know, and you know, when I think about it, though, it wasn't really moving the race forward, and it wasn't really moving women's plight forward either, because basically she was a secretary in space, you know. I think for me, where we started to make strides was with the Next Generation, because in Star Trek: The Next Generation, they had the blind engineer Geordie LaForge, who everybody thought was a genius, and he didn't sing or play piano at all. So it was like, yeah, you know, black people, we're moving up, you know. I am located in Washington, D.C., so most of the stuff here is always about politics, you know, and we're still deep into January 6th. I don't know, in India, do you guys know about January 6th here in America? Where a whole bunch of white people attacked the Capitol, you know? It's kind of awkward for me because I actually have a white conservative neighbor who was down at the Capitol that day. He didn't really attack the Capitol, but he was at the Trump rally beforehand. And I just had to tell him, I said, you know, those Trump rallies are racist. And he said, no, they're not. He goes, I was down there and there were a lot of black people at that rally. And I thought for a minute, and I kind of understood what he meant, because I know if I went to a Trump rally and I saw one black person, I'd be like, yeah, there are a lot of black people at this Trump rally. Wow, you know, and that's usually what a conservative white person means when they say they got a lot of black friends. They got one, you know, they've got that one guy, Willie, who works in the job. He doesn't work where they work, you know, but they see him, you know, with a mop, you know, he works at their job, you know, he's their best friend at their job, you know, so, but, you know, it's a weird sort of thing, you know, because we seem to be going backwards, you know. I mean, one thing about the pandemic is that it took away a lot of stuff to distract people, you know. You couldn't go to a baseball game, you know, you couldn't go to the theater. And so it was at that point when people got to focus on social issues, you know, like the BLM movement started to make strides, you know. It's like corporate America let little Debbie and Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben off the corporate plantation, which I thought was cool, you know, because I mean, it could have easily been something else, you know. They could have easily, I don't know, gone through gay rights again and let let the brawny man and Mr. Clean declare their love. I mean, they could have done that. Which that to me has always been a sad one because they're usually on the same aisle, but they're never allowed to be side by side. Which I think let's help them out. But now we seem to be going backwards. They're trying to hide Black history and stuff. People like DeSantis. They're trying to get rid of the concept of slavery altogether. I think DeSantis wants to turn the term slavery into unpaid intern. I think is what he wants it to be now. So there's no slaves; they were just unpaid interns. So, but that may be too political for tonight. But you can't tell from the way I'm seated purposely. But like many African Americans, I suffer from big bones. It's compounded by the fact that I'm fat. I tried running, but I found I could only run if there's a Popeyes at the end of it. So I ran for a week and I gained 12 pounds. So I'm no longer a runner. I guess what I really need is I need a fat guy gym. I need a gym that's specifically tailored for guys like me. Some gym that's got like a 14-foot rope climb to a bucket of chicken, something like that. Or every treadmill has a full Thanksgiving dinner at the end of it that you can't quite get to, or they actually take you outside and make you run down the ice cream truck if you want something. I need incentive, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I need incentive, but what are you gonna do? It's I'm glad we're past the holidays, because I get tired of the little kids running up to me going, "You're fat, you're fat." I mean, it's not like they really say you're fat, but they're like, "Santa, this is what I want for Christmas. Santa, this is what I want." I'm like, get away from me, But you gotta love little kids, they're brutally honest, and that's how I know we still have a race problem. I was in downtown DC recently, and this little 6-year-old girl's walking in front of me, and she looks back and she sees me, and she immediately takes her Barbie purse and she moves it to the other side of her body and she clutches it really tight. And I'm just like, oh, this makes me so sad. I mean, I think mainly because I knew I'm going to have to knock this bitch to the ground to get it, so it's like, this racism isn't working out for either one of us, it's like, it's horrible. I don't know. But interestingly enough, I don't have a Southern accent, but I grew up in Memphis. Memphis is my hometown. And my claim to fame is that I met Elvis twice in my lifetime. The first time I met him, we went to the same karate studio, and he came in with Bill Wallace, who was known as Bill Superfoot Wallace. And Bill Wallace spent the whole time in our class basically kicking Elvis's ass. He was constantly kicking him and putting him on his butt. And so I didn't see him again for probably another 10 years. When I was about 15, I had a job down on the big touristy, one of the big touristy areas in Memphis that had the original Memphian theaters, the original movie house, and Elvis would rent it out to watch movies with his friends. And as I was walking past to try to catch my ride home, he stepped off the curb and slipped and fell into the ground right in the middle of the street. So I tell people, yeah, the 2 times that I met Elvis, I put him on his ass. So that's what I tell people, I'm fame adjacent is what I am. Fame adjacent. But I spend a lot of time now, on my day job doing computer service work, and then at night trying to do comedy, to be famous. But it never seems to work out. I always seem to meet famous people, but they never help me out whatsoever. And I like that fact, because I know that if I ever do become famous, I'm going to shit on the little people too. Right? I'm just, it rolls downhill. It makes me sound like a real asshole. But not you, Chris, and not you, Ankur. If I become famous, you will be famous too.
Thank you.
Geo,
Likewise.
Geo, not so much. But you guys, yeah. But I am married. I'll tell you that much. I've been married for 30 years. You guys could clap it up for my wife because she deserves it. And for our 30th anniversary, I did my due diligence. I went on all the websites, the wedding websites, to find what the appropriate gift is for a 30-year anniversary. Anybody know what the appropriate gift is?
What's that?
It's pearl. Pearl is the appropriate gift. But when I went to my bank website, it said back rub. Back rub is the appropriate gift. So my wife got a back rub and I got a notice from Wells Fargo. I was overdrawn. So that's it, But sometimes it's tough being married, because my wife, 30 years, she knows the ins and outs, she knows how to push my buttons and, how to tweak me. And, I remember, last year, Father's Day, I woke up all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, it's Father's Day, and she's looking at me. She goes, what's wrong with you? What's wrong? It's Father's Day. She goes, I know, but why are you acting so weird? I was like, well, I kind of hoping to get my Father's Day blowjob. She's like, what? I said, it's Father's Day. I should be able to get a blowjob for Father's Day. She says, that's disgusting. And I'm like, but it's Father's Day. She's like, okay, I'll go tell the kids, but I think they already got you a tie. Oh, no.
Damn.
No. That's what she does. She sticks the knife in and then she turns it. She just turns it, I don't know what to do. But my aunt just passed away a few days ago, and it seems like most of my time I've been spending lately has been traveling for funerals instead of for comedy. I had another friend who passed away, a Canadian, passed away, and his family got into this fight over where to bury him. Some of the family wanted to bury him in Canada, and some of them wanted to bury him in the United States because he'd been here for 25 years. And so they decided to cremate him. And I thought, somebody really should make, sort of clear glass urns, so that you could divide up your loved ones, everybody get a little bit, and then that way you could start layering your family members inside of this, put Aunt Sophie on top of Uncle Stanley, because she always liked to be on top, that sort of that sort of thing, that way everybody could enjoy it, So my mother passed away about this time in 2018, and she was a bit of a hoarder. She my wife and I had to go clear out her house, and she had dresses and boots and coats and stuff that still had the sales tags on them that she had never worn, and I mean old stuff. I mean, she had mini dresses with matching go-go boots that still had the $2.35 tag on them, and I was like, she never wore these. And my family has always been big into cremation, and my wife was finding all these little urns and stuff. She's like, oh, what's this one? It's marked Poppy. And I was like, oh, that's one of my mom's old dogs. And she's like, well, what about this one? That's Chrissy. And I said, that's another one of my mom's old dogs. And she's, well, what's this big one that says Caroline? And I'm like, Caroline was my grandmother. What's she doing here in the basement? It's like, yeah, that's when the hoarding has really become a problem, when they're hoarding family members in the basement. She also had one of those deep freezers that was filled with steaks, but you never knew like how old these steaks were. I mean, you scratch off the dust, or the frozen frost on it, and you could see that the tag on it said porterhouse steak, 13 cents a pound. You're like, oh my God. How old is this steak? It tasted good, but how old is this steak? I guess that's what they call aged, right? I don't know. But, I am trying to do better, now that I'm getting older, trying to be more, I don't know, philosophical, trying to be a wise man, which is really hard as a comedian, because your tendency is to be an asshole, or to point out stuff that you shouldn't point out, like I know that it's not nice to tell my wife that she's fat, even if you do mean it PHAT. Yeah, women just don't understand that. They just don't understand,
Woo!
So you wind up, sleeping on the couch. So I try to pass on wisdom to younger guys about relationship and marriage, that when you get into a relationship, with a woman long term, if you get a place with them, let the woman choose whatever she wants in the household, the style, the colors, whatever. The one thing that you want to do is you want to choose the couch. You want to choose the couch because you want to make sure that it's wide enough that you could sleep on it for 4 or 5 days. Because invariably you're going to have to do that. So you want to make sure that you pick that out. It's also a good thing too to buy a present and a card and hide it somewhere in the house, because she's going to come home sometime and say, hey, it's our 73rd week anniversary, what'd you get me? So I always want to have that ready, and a card, because women love cards, but be sure, don't pick the card just from the outside. Actually open it and look inside, because I did that and she opened the card up and it said Happy Hanukkah. Busted, so you got to do your due diligence, my wife is not the traditional wife. She doesn't really cook. I'm the cook in the household. When my kid was younger, he used to say, Dad cooks dinner and Mom makes snacks, so she can open a jar of peanut butter is what she can do. And so, sometimes she burns that. So it's like, but I go on as if she's not in the room. But, so far she hasn't unmuted herself. So I think I'm doing okay. Love you, honey. Yeah, the husband wife or boy girl relationship is always weird. The things just don't, we come at life differently, men and women. It's like I remember coming home one night and my wife was spending some alone time. She had one of those back massagers that plugs into the wall. You know what I'm talking about? I can always tell when she was using it because the house lights would dim, and it sounded like she was making frozen margaritas up in the bedroom. And like an idiot, I'm downstairs yelling, make my nose salt, make my nose. But you go through rough patches, and people get, they get to doing stuff. I don't know. Chris, you watch a lot of porn? You watch?
I study it.
You study it? Yeah.
I study it.
Ankur, you watch a lot of porn? Do they let porn through in India? Do they?
It's illegal, I guess.
Oh, I thought it would be illegal. Oh. Yeah, I dabble in it. The hot porn stuff now is this amateur stuff. People making their own movies. Have you seen that? Amateurs making their own videos. If you search long enough, you are going to see somebody doing porn. For me, it was my next door neighbor. It was a little awkward because he was with my wife. So I mean, trust me, I still came, but it was bittersweet. It was bittersweet. So, but I was ready to confront her. I queued up that video, had it sitting on a chair at the front door, waiting for her to come in, and she walked in. I'm like, look at this video. This video is 90 minutes long. You're going to tell me you were over at our neighbors that long and you couldn't get back my cordless drill? Bitch, you are selfish. You are just selfish, You know, married men, that's what we care about, our power tools. That's the most important thing, you know. You can borrow my wife and keep her as long as you want, but you know, if you've got my lawnmower, I want it back as soon as you're done with it. As soon as you're done with it, you know. But, maybe that's just me. I'm just shallow like that, I guess. But it's tough. It's tough satisfying a woman, you know. It's tough to be in there day in and day out, you know, because women are a different beast, you know, different, you know, they're more complicated, you know, and you know, I had some women on the show that told me that men are jealous that women can have multiple orgasms and men can't, you know. And I'm like, really? They say, yeah. And I said, I don't know if anyone is of that same mind. I mean, because women, when they orgasm, it's a beautiful thing. It's like a woman, she opens up to life itself. You know, it's like, oh, I mean, it's like rainbows. But when a man orgasms, it's more like, I mean, it looks more like I'm throwing a couch into a dumpster than anything. And it's like, is that what you want to see multiple times? I don't think so. I don't think the woman wants to see it. I don't think the man wants to even do that. It's just a horrible thing. We come because we have to. And then as soon as we do, we want to get away, just, you know, shrink away. You know, that's the deal, you know. But again, maybe I'm just talking about myself, you know. None of the other guys are affirming that, you know. But I'm pretty sure they're not like, oh, I just came. Let's see if we can get another one. No, they're done. They're done. You know, they're watching football or something else. But I don't know. Where am I at on time? Am I still good on time? I don't know if I was.
Yeah, you much you want. You haven't hit 30 yet. You're about 2 minutes.
Oh, about 2 minutes away from 30. Okay, so what else? What else did we talk about? I'll be honest with you. I'm a news junkie. I have a weekly news show here in Washington D.C., the call-in show, which runs up just people, you know, how should I say it? People venting their own little ideas of what the world is like, the conspiracies that are, you know, and I look at today and the people that we see in the news, like, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I think is, I mean, she's a whack job on roller skates. I mean, I can't believe that she's in Congress. I'm just like, it makes me wonder what the people who voted for her look like. I mean, it's like, I can't believe, I just can't believe that they their heads aren't just lopsided and, you know, they're slack jawed. I mean, it's horrible. Island of Dr. Moreau. That's what I picture. That's what I picture Marjorie Taylor Greene's Island of Dr. Moreau. It's a horrible thing, you know. I think of Marjorie Taylor Greene's constituents as, I don't know if you've ever seen the photos of the deer and the animals, you know, post Chernobyl, you know, where you got a deer running around with a fifth leg hanging out of its head. That's what I picture in that county in Georgia, which is it's terrible to say, but I think that's probably, and see, if that's the case, I can understand. You're going to make bad decisions if you've got an extra leg hanging out of your head. I mean, I get it. I get it. You can't see things properly. You know, you got this extra leg hanging out of your head. You know, it's like you can only look out of one eye at a time. It's got to be horrible. You know, and it's like, how do you buy shoes? You know, it's like you're going to buy 3 pair of shoes and have to throw one away every single time. It's just horrible, you know, but again, maybe that's just the way I see it. Maybe that's just the way I see it. So, you know, I keep thinking that I want to talk to Ankur some more. I just want to know, like, how's McDonald's doing there in India? I mean, just, I want to know what's going on. And I love Indian food. I'll be honest with you. I love Indian food. But it's interesting because, in America, we're taught that Indians don't eat beef, like cows are sacred, right? But
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing when you were talking about weed, and I said it's illegal. I mean,
Right.
beef is not illegal, but it's the same thing. It's like if you have to buy beef,
Yeah.
it's like buying drugs or something.
Right. Yeah. And see, I mean, that's what I think of. It's poo-pooed there, but it's like every Indian restaurant in America has keema samosa. They have meat samosas. I mean, it's like, really? It's like, wait a minute, that's not. And then they have the audacity to say authentic Indian food. I'm like, well, wait a minute, how does that work? It's like, that's not possible, is it? So I'm thinking like a McDonald's is there. I'm assuming there is a McDonald's in India.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There is.
And do they serve?
I think it's more.
Do they serve
No, I think
hamburgers?
mostly it's vegetarian McDonald's, and
Right.
I've heard that Indian McDonald's as compared to like other countries McDonald's, it's not that good. I've heard, like,
Well,
I
I
haven't
mean,
tried the other countries.
as soon as you said vegetarian McDonald's, I'm sure Chris felt like I did. That's got to be garbage. Nobody. I mean,
Oh,
it's like,
I want no part of that.
yeah, that's wait a minute. Those are two opposite terms. Vegetarian McDonald's. That's I don't think you can legally write that down anywhere. It's like that's
We
out
like
of
the
order.
questionable beef that we don't even know if it's beef.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's like,
I was
yeah.
just, he said it was different in India, that McDonald's wasn't good.
Oh, it's not good here either.
Well, I guess it depends on when you do. I mean, because you're in North Carolina, right, Chris?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. So you're far enough down to have Crystals, right?
You know what? They got rid of the one Crystal Burger like 3 years ago, and I'm still upset about it because I only got to go twice.
Yeah. See, I mean, Crystals is like it's horrible food, but it's the most delicious food at 3 a.m. when you're drunk. It's like
100%.
People are like, hey, do you want filet mignon? I want Crystals. It's 3 a.m. and I'm drunk. It's like that's what I remember. I mean, it's the Southern White Castle, but it's different. It's different. I mean, it's got Southern charm. It's more genteel than White Castle. So, but so I'm always interested in other places. I've done other shows in India, but it's interesting because I think of the 7 or 8 shows I did out of India, 6 of them were Sikhs. They were run by Sikhs. So it was like India, but not really India, sort of thing, And it seemed like everybody who was running the show was like, yeah, this is gonna be the last time I do a show out of India because I'm moving to Canada. I'm like, okay, okay, I got you. But I don't know, Geo. I think maybe I've done enough. If I've met everyone's ear enough. So
Do another hour. I enjoyed
it. I have my wife upstairs, and she's still on. But you know what I think? I think that she's muted.
Great job, sweetie.
Oh, she's still awake. She's still awake.
Woohoo!
There we go. There we go.
Listen to every word.
There we go. Because to tell tales on her, is that my wife is, she's a news producer. So she actually is the director of news at the station that we're on. And so she has these meetings, to better the station, not only our local station, but also the whole affiliates and the network. And so they have these meetings that she has to do, Zoom meetings that'll start at 8 and won't end till 1 o'clock in the morning. So it's like,
Yikes.
so it's a lot of times when I come up, she's on the Zoom, but she's not on the Zoom. She's asleep. You know? And I'll go, honey, I think the Zoom is still going on. And she'll wake up and they'll be voting and she'll say, yes, I vote yes. Yeah. They were just voting to fire you. And she, oh, wait, I meant no. No. So, but she perseveres. She's the one that actually got me into stand-up comedy about 12, almost 13 years ago. She started to have these olfactory hallucinations, which is an interesting thing. She started having the smell of burning rubber. And she came to me, she said, oh, I think I got a brain tumor. I'm smelling burning rubber. And I, of course, being the husband who assumes that he knows everything, oh, you're being crazy. And it turned out that there was something there, So we started this year-long process of diagnosing it. Sort of like it's like an episode of House, if you guys all know the House thing, where the doctors basically throw stuff against the wall to see what sticks. Interesting point too about brain tumors is that like a large chunk of them, almost like 80% of them, the first sign is these olfactory hallucinations. And what's weird about it too is that the top hallucinations are burning rubber, rotting garbage, and the smell of a decomposing body. Which the third one to me, I think if somebody knows the smell of a decomposing body, that's more a sign that we need to delve further, not about the person's head, but like I want to see that person's basement. It's like, how do they know what that smells like? But
Chip, I am from Akron, Ohio, the rubber capital of the world.
That's true. But I always thought it's interesting that the smells are always horrible smells, that your body is making it a horrible smell. Because if the top three hallucinations were like baked cookies or roses or Chanel number 5, you might not be encouraged to go to your doctor and say, hey, I think there's something wrong. You would just enjoy the smell. So but we went through a year-long process of differential diagnosis, and then she had brain surgery. In that year-long process at the beginning, she actually bought me classes at the local DC Improv to take comedy. And so it started my process. I think she thought it was just going to be something that tied us over during the tumor phase, but after she had her surgery and recovered, and actually came to my show at the Improv where I did 12 minutes called Tumor Humor on this whole process. She knew that she was in trouble, that, oh, he's going to keep doing this. This is such a horrible gift for me. But so that's how I got into comedy. And
I'm glad you did.
I appreciate it too, every day. And it's fun to meet you guys and hear your stuff. You guys are really good. I enjoyed you.
Thank you.
And I guess, Geo, I'm going to hand it back to you. This is a soft close, I guess. I didn't do a big finale joke, or talk about my penis size or something like that. But maybe another time.
Chip and his big day.
It's big.
Well, one last thing, you were talking about the blowjob. Whenever my girlfriend talks about blowjob, I always think of fantasy novels and all these just spectacular, just glorious, astonishing things that I will never see in my lifetime. All right. Everybody did a great job tonight, and for the remaining attendees, please thank you for coming. If you don't follow us on Button Down Comedy, please do. We have these shows twice a month, second and fourth Fridays of each month. We'd love to have you come back and laugh at us because we like being laughed at. So please If you have any, we put our social media in the chats. Follow us, laugh at our other stuff, and we hope to see you again. And get Ankur, Chip, Chris, thank you very much for coming, and thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for
Touch-
having me.
This was fun. Glad to meet you guys.
Glad to meet you guys too. Thanks, Geo.